All right, hey, all you action figure fans, it's me, Justin, the Action Figure Minute. And today we are checking out the ATL-25 Toy Lanta exclusive figure. And this guy looks badass. Big dude, reminiscent of Roadblock, and of course, Aliens, the movie, one of my favorite movies of all time from my childhood. I've got the camera lens pointed the other way, so I'm getting used to that today. ATL-25, just heavy gunning, Roadblock, heavy duty dude. Toy Lanta, I'm pretty sure, is a pretty G.I. Joe focused toy show anyways. I've never been. I'd love to go someday. But I got the figure here to hold me over, and I'm pretty sure, I think this is the exclusive version. Nope. I have to look at that. I'll have to do that when we pause and take a look here. Let me know. Now for a quick bio reading. ATL-25, mission briefing. Create a special figure to debut at Toy Lanta 2025. When we decided to develop a special figure release for Toy Lanta 2025, we knew we wanted it to be something different from our current Legions lines. Looking at the library of parts we had available to use, we realized that we could create something pretty unique within our current lineup of characters. Our take on a modern military line with a little sci-fi flavor thrown in for good measure. Our artillery team leader, I guess that's his name, figure, codenamed ATL-25, is not meant to be an homage to any particular toy line or character, nor is it part of either one of our existing Legion storylines. Instead, ATL-25 is a character that could be found in various storylines and scenarios, fighting for justice and defending for freedom in action figure collections everywhere. It's almost like he's fighting for freedom wherever there's trouble. ATL is there! Okay, that was a little bit extra. But yeah, totally not an homage to any toy line, just any coincidences. I'm going to go ahead and crack her open now because that's what we do on this channel, Action Figure Minute. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Greatly appreciate it. Continuing to grow this here channel. All right. Woo! He's got the fumes. Wonder extra paint deco, extra camo deco. I don't think I've ever pointed this out before, but with all the Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions figures, we've got the warning, heat up the figures before you move them. He's been sitting in my house for a very long time. I know how to move these. I'll proceed with my own caution. Automatically, though, look what fell out. Man, this gun looks pretty sick. Man, I'm not used to this, the camera lens being on the opposite side. I'm going to have to not do this ever again. So, really great paint apps all over this gun. We've seen this pulse rifle. We've seen this rifle before for the previous Legions releases. And one other thing that I've thought of as I'm talking here is they made a mention they made it important to say that this figure is not of any existing Legions lines, because the Four Horsemen have said several times they don't want Cosmic Legions to be about humans in space. So this clearly is a human, but they're not going to be incorporating this figure into the Cosmic Legion storyline. So he's a one-off, but he's gonna go on my Cosmic shelf, and I'm sure just about everybody else's. All right. We've got the figure out of the package. Let's switch it up this time and try and be a bit more organized. So, really great. This is the Zende head sculpt we've seen several times now. I'm going to go ahead and say, and I know this is a special release, but I wish we'd start seeing even more and more head sculpts. But it still looks cool, not reminiscent of Roadblock or Heavy Duty at all. Interesting when you take his head off. The neck peg is camoed. I wonder if there's a standard neck peg in here or if that's just, his collar, the way it is. He's got different helmets that we could put on to swap, so it makes it look like, then it's a continuous part of the armor. But we've got his head sculpt, and it isn't on one of the newer neck pegs where it has the hinge, so that's fine. I'm fine with that. He doesn't need to do any Iron Man flying, looking up poses. He can do this. It's okay. All right, so we got the T pose for the arms. We can swing his arm all the way around. No cut at the bicep on this guy. And these look to be, they look to be the original. Yeah, these are the original arms, I believe. And they're a single hinge at the elbow. They go about to there. We've got a twist at the upper forearm where this bracer is. Wrists can spin around. They are a little blocked by this guard here at the top of his forearm. And the gloves, I might have to just pop this off and look at it. They're vertically hinged. Okay. So then we've got his hips. Woo! Splits, splits, splits. We've got a cut at the hip so we can twist there. We've got a spin at the knee. Knee just popped off, pop it back in, find where the hinge is. It's painted camo, it's hard to see. There it is. All right, single jointed knee, and we can get it back to meow. And no cut at the boot, because this is one of the previously existing tools. And we've got the front-facing pin, toe or ankle pivot, and we've got a rocker here. So all in all, solid figure. Your standard Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, articulation. Oh, I forgot to talk about his waist. I always forget about the waist. Again, it's a ball joint at the waist, so he can go forward a little bit, not much. We can go back a ton. Let's do that again. Back, forward, forward. I mean, it's really not much at all. He can go. And he can go side to side. So do the hula hoop. All right. Got the figure aside here. Talking about his paint apps. I mean, if you could imagine, you know, basically, you know, a colonial marine out of the movie Aliens, except with camo armor, this is what the guy looks like. Very heavy in the greens for the camo. Light tan on the boots. And throughout all over the figure, blacks, darker browns, light tan, just really a great overall paint sculpt. And then we've got the ATL-25 tampo on his chest. That's on his, over his heart. All right, let's look at everything we have now with this figure. We've got his big old heavy gun that it looks like we've got some attachments to attach to. And the heavy gun is primarily in a very dark gunmetal and a very light tan color with silver accents. And then we've got his backpack, which matches his paint schemes with the camo green, black, gray, light brown, brown, so on and so forth. We've got his bullet belt, ammo belt, which is nice pliable plastic. And we've got a pair of swappable arms. So he comes with, as you already saw, bare arms, but we can swap them to cloth arms, very much like the ones Dubon came with as when Dubon was introduced to us, just in a camo style color, khaki camo color. And let's see here. Let's go to the other tray next. It looks like, this looks like a pair of binoculars, but it's not. Pretty sure this is the end of the gun that we can plug in. Doesn't appear to be keyed any which way, but yeah, it just plugs in right to the front of the heavy gun. Kind of complete that look. A little different how it goes to green at the end of the heavy gun, and then everywhere else it's camo and dark gunmetal. So, and then all of a sudden changes to green color scheme. We'll see about how I feel about that after it's all put together, but I guess there is one other spot of green now that I am seeing. If I flip the gun over, one of the hoses right here is also green. So not much green on the gun, but then they throw it on the tip, just the tip, and the hose. And I keep looking at the camera to be over here when it's over here. All right. Get this head out. Little action. Man, that is in there tight. Action figure ASMR. We might have to get that at the break. That's in there. And then we have a baggie full of stuff. Let's see what's in this baggie. It looks like there's a baggie within a baggie. All right. We've got his shoulder armor in one baggie. And these are good baggies. I'm going to save these baggies for other little bits and pieces later. But probably the same, I don't have them next to me, but probably the same or very similar shoulder armor to what we've received previously on the Tusk soldiers, but in this nice dark green color. And we've got his other bag full of stuff. All right, we've got a belt, primarily in black, with tan on the buckle. We've got whatever the heck this is. Black piece, has something on the end to plug it into, has a peg on the back to plug it into something, so we'll have to figure what that's all about. Figure that out. All right, we've got his pistol, very dark gray, gunmetal-ish, black accents, little silver highlights, silver on the barrel, or no, the flash, that'd probably be the flashlight down there at the bottom of the gun. Okay, then we have whatever this is. Got to figure out what that is. Maybe it works with the other piece that I don't know what it is. I just plugged them together. I don't know, to figure that out. Comes with a shield handle, Mythic Legion's shield handle. A lot of stuff to figure out here. And then he comes with several other hands, and these look like the Dubon style cloth leather hands. We've got, let's see here, trigger fingers. And these ones are both vertically hinged. And then we've got some kind of open expressive hands. Got a pair of those, and they are horizontally hinged. And then last but not least, we've got, I don't know, looks like I only got 3 of the little clear pegs. Usually they do 4, 2 big, 2 small, maybe one rolled somewhere. If not, I've got a million of them anyway, so no big deal. All right. Going to take this offline, get that head sculpt out, and figure out what to do with all these parts. Be right back. All right, and we're back, and I moved the camera to where I'm used to it being. There we are. So we've got the figure put together, and his ammo belt just fell out of the backpack here. Put it back in easy enough. But we've got ATL put together here, brandishing his heavy gun so he can mow down the alien invasion coming his way. And I really like him put together. He looks really good. A couple gripes that I have, but nothing major by any means. I would have liked to have seen a horizontally hinged hand for his left side here so he can, you know, kind of hold it up and down. The trigger hand here, I swapped and put the trigger finger hand on here. I probably could have kept it the other hand. Maybe I'll switch back because the trigger finger is kind of flying wild there, and it probably would help secure it if I switch back to the other hand. Otherwise, those extra parts that we have, so apparently they're for the special. This is not the ATL Toylanta release. This figure is the standard release version. The accessories, these accessories, I believe, were for parts that came with the exclusive. So obviously the parts that the exclusive came with were the other Cosmic Legion builder's helmet from, I believe it was the Tusk Sentry, and this would be the Tusk Engineer's head, all in the camo paint scheme. And then it had like a shock baton or riot baton, and then the ATL-25, they painted up a shield for him. So what these extra pieces are that can't really do anything with the standard release version, this is, of course, a shield handle for the shield that we don't get with the figure. And then what this piece is to take the back of the shield off where the shield handle would plug into, and you plug this into the shield, and then you can plug the shield onto his forearm here. So imagine a shield right there. So he'd be protecting himself, and, you know, maybe it would look better if he was holding the pistol or the machine gun but can't do anything with it. And then this piece, I think it's just an extra piece. I'm not too familiar with the Cosmic Legion's library, but this piece would plug into his back instead of the backpack. And then if you had hoses and whatnot to plug in from other figures, you could do that with this piece. So if you're just getting one of these figures, you can ignore those pieces because you won't be able to do anything with them. So I'll go ahead and take that off. But you could save them for your Cosmic Legion's libraries for pops and swaps and doing other things later. Yeah. So we've got this figure. He's out of the package, looking like heavy duty, looking like Roadblock, but totally not a tribute to him. But I really, really like what they did with this figure. He looks great. It's a great figure for this type of, you know, exclusive, homage, special release. I think that's what it's under on, if you go to sourcehorseman.com, it's not under Cosmic Legions, it's not under Mythic Legions. I think it's under special releases or special projects if you want to find this guy and look at him for their professional picks that they have. I did find that other clear peg. It was still in the bag. So I used one of the small clear pegs to put his pistol on his side and one of the larger clear pegs to hook the machine gun to his backpack. Let's see if we could take that pistol probably off here. And if we wanted to pop it on his backpack. And you could do that too. The way it's positioned here kind of hits his shoulder armor that I have on, but definitely the pistol belongs on his hip. I just wanted to test it out there. Well, I'll go ahead and save the arm swaps and well, we can do the head swap. That's quick and easy. I'll go ahead and put that head swap on so you can get a look at him with the head swap. But I'll save the arm swaps for when I do a photo shoot of this guy. And all in all, I definitely recommend, if you're a Cosmic Legions collector, and as long as you're not a Cosmic Legions purist, because, you know, there are no humans in Cosmic Legion space, then you should definitely get this guy. I know Mark Calvo, I don't think I've said it already, Mark Calvo in the Mythic Legions community has been doing a ton of really awesome customs with this guy, making his own Colonial Space Marines for aliens. But, you know, for a one-off, if you're going to have just one of these guys, absolutely. You know, he's great looking. I highly recommend picking him up. Okay, this has been your action figure minute. Now I'm looking at both sides. Have a great rest of the day. Peace.